Looks like it's just about. Okay, I think we're good now.
All right. So watch these iPhones.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know what they are. It may be more than you bargained for when it comes on. Been doing this long enough. All right. All right. Hello, everybody on Facebook, and hello, everybody here in Zoom. Thank you. Welcome. In your respective chats will be information that will bring you over here to see us if you want to be in the interactive part of this thing. But if you want to remain anonymous, that's okay too. I am going to play a couple songs just to sort of get warmed up. It's nice to see so many nice friends here. All right. So I just played at Club Passim uh, for the uh, for the 35th year. It's hard for me to believe that, but it's true. The first time I was at Club Passim, which is in Cambridge, it's one of the longest running um, folk venues in the country. It's been over 60 years, I think. And it's just this little room, but it's in Cambridge in Harvard Square, the People's Republic of Cambridge. And uh, the first time I was in it, I was still in high school, 1973. I went to see Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee there, and they were two guys who were still touring in the 70s, but hung around with Woody Guthrie and all that stuff. And so it was you know, I'm remembering what a great lucky life I have. When I was there in the high school, if you'd have told me I'd be playing in that room as a headliner for 35 years, I would have had, I would have said that you needed to modify your drug intake because it's affecting you negatively. So I was brushing up on this one. Let me see if I can do this for Tommy and Marlene. Happy birthday, Tommy. Tommy, I'm not going to
Thank
say
you.
how old. I'm not going to say how old you are. You can say that if you want to.
How old?
I have to announce I'm much younger than him. I just had a birthday yesterday, so
Really, are you the same astrological sign?
we are. We're both Capricorns, like
Really?
Jesus.
Wow, I'm
Uh,
not sure that's not supposed to work, is it?
well, it's worked for almost 50 years. Well, I just had my
Well,
80th birthday last December 23rd. So
80 years, Tommy. I love you, man. You're the best. Congratulations. I'll be so dead when I'm 80. All right. September comes subtle, a chill in the breeze. I reach for my sweater. I know what this means. Warm days are not over, but change has begun. Subtle but steady, the world tilts away from the sun. The summer was fruitful, the harvest looks good. Our family prospered like we hoped it would. Our struggles were many, those struggles are done. Come sit by my side while the world tilts away from the sun. Away from the sun. Oh, sorry. Away from the sun. Away from the sun. Most hardly notice, but we know this change has begun. Change has begun. Change has begun. but steady, the world tilts away from the sun. On a world full of wonder, we spin through the sky, loving, fighting, growing, and wondering why. While a big ball of fire above us looks down, shining warm light upon us as we spin around and around, away from the sun, away from the sun. Most hardly notice, but we know this change has begun. Change has begun. Change has begun. Subtle but steady, the world tilts away from the sun. Let's spend all the money on laughter and song. Let's dance with these bodies till these bodies are gone. When it's all over, you'll know it is true. My life only had meaning 'cause I got to share it with you. September comes subtle, a chill in the breeze. I reach for my sweater, I know what this means. Warm days are not over, but change has begun. Come dance with me while the world tilts away from the sun. Go.
Thank you. Love that.
Hey, Don, that's great.
Hey Neil, nice
Neil.
to see you. Why, buddy? How you feeling?
Great, great. Good to see you all. Happy New Year
Happy New Year to
to be
you.
here.
Yeah, good to see you too. I'm glad you're doing all right, Neil. I worry about you, but every time I see you, you look better and better. I don't know. You
Hey,
got some secret.
it's because I'm getting older than you. That's all. Always
Good.
have been and always will.
I'm glad you overtook me. That's good.
There you go.
Neil's my hero. Neil Braverman, he runs the coffee house there over there in Rosendale. The Rosendale open mic still running online. No in-person stuff over there yet, Neil.
Not yet, but we're well into our 15th year now, though.
That's wonderful.
For real. But once we get
Congratulations.
back live, we'll have to have you get your local compared to where other places you're going. So
Oh,
we'll
yeah, I'll
be
come
back.
and do. Once you get a place to do it in a real building, I'll come, Neil, anytime.
I know you will.
But I will. I am trying to not get out there that much, but they keep. What's that thing the old mafia said? They keep dragging me back and back. I try to get out, but they keep dragging me back.
You're well loved. That's all.
And I know it, and I'm grateful about it. All right, so let me play this song for Neil. And I tried to play it last time, but I couldn't remember it. Let's see if I can mutilate it less this time. That's the goal. Is not to not mutilate it. It's to mutilate it less every time. That's our goal here, Neil. I think I want it in this other key. Hang on.
Don't.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, look, Storyteller just popped in. Is he here yet? No, I just saw Alan D. Bay in the waiting room. You gotta watch out for him. There he is. Hey, Alan. From a tax shelter offshore, some kid said my job had been eliminated. He said, thank you for your service and for working so hard. Blah, blah, lie, lie, half truth, blah, blah. He expected me to be petrified, get in the fetal position, start to cry. But I just kept thinking that he was underestimating me. 'Cause my team is on a winning streak. We haven't lost a game all week. Underestimated people are hard to beat. My team is on a winning streak. Every 2 years, some brand new guy calls a big meeting to tell us why things will get a lot better now that he's in charge. Blah, blah, lie, lie, half truth, blah, blah. And all the working people try not to grin while they're hearing these promises again. Nothing gets better. 2 years go by and then we're sitting at a meeting with a brand new guy. My team is on a winning streak. We haven't lost a game all week. Underestimated people are hard to beat. My team is on a winning streak. I said, well, what you did to me just wasn't right. So I hired a lawyer and a plan to fight. He said, you are so adorable. He patted my head and he closed the door. The greatest gift they gave to me was to not take me seriously. 'Cause anything can happen, it can happen fast. But no one believes that you have half a chance. From a tax shelter offshore, some kid said my job had been eliminated. But I just kept thinking that he was underestimating me. 'Cause my team is on a winning streak. We haven't lost a game all week. Underestimated people are hard to beat. My team is on a winning streak.
All right, Don.
Significantly less mutilated than last month.
Oh, you did a great job. Thank you. I'm on it. I'm on it.
You're welcome. All right, we're going to go through all the lists here. I'll play everybody's song, and so then you can all leave if you want. So I have a couple things coming up. I'm going to be doing my birthday show, annual birthday show. It's about 30 years doing that now, and that's in at the Bull Run Restaurant in Shirley, Massachusetts, at the intersection of Nowhere and Nothing in Shirley, Mass. And that's on March 8th. And my son is going to play with me. And I hardly ever get to play with him. He is so busy. He has one of these jobs where they send him to Saudi Arabia and to Dubai and to Scotland, all over the place. And he's got, 3 kids and a busy life. But he's going to sit in. So that's, really special. And I have some other special guests coming. So that's March 8th for anybody within striking distance of Shirley, Massachusetts, which is out there near nothing, near Fitchburg, Mass, and all that. And then I have some other things coming up, but I'm going to Nebraska and to play at the Nebraska Storytelling Festival at the Kearney Storytelling Festival, and that's in early February for anybody in that part of the world. I want to spend the winter week in one of the most frozen parts of the world with me. You come on, there'll be warm stories inside for you there. Now, all right, this is called The Shameful Ballad of Elijah the Precocious Orchard Queen. I had to write the lyrics down because I don't play it that much. And I definitely don't play it when I'm in places of worship. But I'm playing it tonight because, this may be a place of worship online here, but it's not quite the same. And this is a true story, which is pulled out of my book, The Hitchhiking Years. It's a story about when we were hitchhiking and we were picking fruit out there in Washington State, and our dog went into heat, and you know what could I do except write a song about it? So here we go. This is for you, Kevin. And I think I need to take my glasses off for this epic here. Let me tell you about the fall of '79. We were running out of money, we were running out of time. We wound up picking pears over in Washington. For 8 months before that, we were hitching down the road with a dog named Elijah. 1 year old, we had that dog ever since she was a little pup. Now our baby was growing up. What got into Elijah? I just can't say. I guess she started reaching the curious age, and she had this aroma she was sending all over the land. And in every backyard for 4 or 5 miles, every male dog was howling and going wild. They were driving their owners crazy, but they didn't care. Dog love was in the air. Jumping out of windows and breaking off chains. Poodles, Cocker Spaniels, German Shepherds, Great Danes. They were raunchy, rabid, ugly, mangy, mean. They were trying to find the orchard queen. I was in a tree, Elijah was right down beneath me. To my surprise, I saw 25 male dogs closing in on her. And so I picked me a pear and I threw it on down. I hit a Cocker Spaniel, I knocked him to the ground. He got up quick, he was dazed, but he wasn't deterred. And so I threw down another and they hit him on the head and he went down hard. I thought he was dead, but he still went for Elijah after taking 2 direct hits. The little sucker was passionate. We jumped from the tree and we ran to the shack, pursued by a horny, crazed wild dog pack. And our dog Elijah fought us every inch of the way. And when we got to the shack, we were both in shock. We felt like we were in a movie by Hitchcock. We looked at each other and we didn't know what to say. How could our little girl act this way? You try to bring them over, right? You feed them Alpo and keep them tied at night. You try to teach them morals and teach them about society. Oh, one day they're a sweet, innocent child. The next day they're out running so wild, Elijah. I never thought you would turn out to be a picture of promiscuity. The next morning, I took a pair of my BVD underwear. I put them on Elijah and I put her to hail through the little hole. And I let her run free in the orchard that day. And every male dog in Washington State took a try at Elijah, but the only thing they felt was the low budget chastity belt. That night when we got to the shack, I took the underwear, threw them out back. They were wet and they were dirty and I didn't think much of it. I didn't realize they were the equivalent of the Holy Grail in the male dog population. Silly me, cause Lord Almighty, what happened then? When the male dogs got a good whiff of them, it was the biggest dog riot that there ever was anywhere. Over Elijah's underwear. Fought and rumbled and they brawled all night. They were killing one another till the morning light. They were fighting to the death for the greatest prize anywhere. And when it all was finished, when it all was done, the Doberman pitcher was the champion. He was wounded, but he looked so triumphant, standing there with Elijah's underwear. He won them fair and square. They were tore to shreds, he didn't care. He looked so proud standing there. Here it is. It's an epic.
Hey, great one.
Oh boy. Well, there you go, Kevin. I see you dropped out there for a minute. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
Zoom froze on me, so you'll have to do it again.
Yeah, I will next week, since I went to all the trouble of learning it. I'll be happy to do that next week for you. You know?
Next month, you mean?
Next month, yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay. We were hoping that there was an extra stream, but next month will be.
No, next month one last one. I just did these three during the winter, so I don't have to drive as much. And I want to tell Marlene and Tommy, who I'm playing going in Nebraska to play for them, but mostly I'm doing children's shows, kindergarten to second grade, and third grade to fifth grade. That I'll be omitting that from the set list, just so you, in case you're
That might be
concerned.
good, but I'm sure the kids would love it.
it's, it's never the kids that are the problem; it's the people who bring them.
Yeah.
The kids are always
Fifth graders would get it probably.
yeah, they get it, but then there'd be a meeting after about like yeah, I know, yeah. Thank you all for coming. Thanks to my friends that are on Facebook as well, and if you can share it on Facebook, that's how most people get to see this. And again, it's free, of course. I don't want to charge for this, but I do need to pay my friend Brandon, who's doing all the tech support behind here. And if there's a few bucks after for groceries, my wife's always happy that I can hand her a few dollars. So we'll put that up in the it'll be on the splash during the break and all that Venmo or whatever. It's all good. But if you don't have any money, and I understand that, it's okay. This is free for you, I'll play this one from my daughter. Had a tough year, had some health issues, but she's doing much better now. For those of you that know her and know, that she's, but she's doing great now. But I wrote this for her when she was leaving home, and I hardly ever play it. But that's one thing I like about the online thing is that I can play these songs that I love a lot, but that might not find their way into a live set. Little bird perched on a mountainside, little wing wondering if they can fly. A pretty little song singing questions to the breeze. Can these little wings really bring me to my dream? The wind is there to dance upon, the rain keeps the rhythm in the dreamer's song. And when you ask me why the sky is blue, I'll tell you, blue is the color of the boundless dreams of little birds who sing like you. She knows you love her, she knows you're right, that there really is danger in the wind at night. And she sees how you worry every single time she leaves. But in her dreams at night, it's only blue sky that she sees. The wind is there to dance upon, the rain keeps the rhythm in the dreamer's song. And when you ask me why the sky is blue, I'll tell you blue is the color of the boundless dreams of little birds who sing like you. stand behind her on the mountainside. When she looks back, you see the whole world in her eyes. When the wind lifts her skyward, her song is on the breeze. The singing can these little wings really bring me to my dreams. The wind is there to dance upon. The rain keeps the rhythm in the dreamer's song. When you ask me why the sky is blue, I'll tell you blue is the color of the boundless dreams of little birds who sing like you, of little birds who sing like you. Here you go.
That's beautiful, Don. I don't think I've
Thank
heard that
you,
before.
everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, that was really nice.
I have my moments.
I don't think I've heard that song before though.
I sang it at her wedding actually.
I wasn't there. Oh, you didn't invite me.
Yeah, that was quite a moment, you know, emotional moment. Yeah, she got married in Costa Rica, so we all flew down there to Costa Rica, which was
I
good.
remember you mentioned that. I do.
Yeah, it was good fun. So, Alan DeBay, are you actually there, or is this just some sort of scary thing you got going on there? Well, if you're there, hello. If you're not, hello too. Delia, is there anything you want me to play for you? Some song from Moana or anything like that? Or all right. Let me just play a couple more. I'm kind of missing Sarah. Like, you know, doesn't feel right without Sarah here. I hope she's okay. I got to see her. I did a festival in California, and her and Pete came down, and that was really good fun.
Don, is she anywhere near where the fires are?
No.
Oh, good.
But last year she had fires near her. She's near Yosemite, over on the western side. But this place where she came, and it's called Ojai. It's near Ventura, and it was the fires were near there. I wrote to some of my friends out there who were involved with the festival, and they were still safe, but it was, you know, over that direction. The last time I was in that part of California, before going there, Terry and I were hitchhiking through there, and so I was saying to them, there's a bridge not far from here that I think we slept under. All the days of her youth were spent in housing subsidized by the government. By the time that her neighbors were 12 years old, they knew how to steal automobiles and play that rock and roll. Shoo up, shoo waddy waddy project. Shoo up, shoo waddy waddy project girl. Shoo up, shoo waddy waddy ooh doo wah doo wah. Shoo up, shoo waddy waddy project girl. Shoo up, shoo waddy waddy ooh doo wah doo wah. I was raised on the other side with white picket fences and a brand new bike. When the sun was hot and the days were long, my dad turned on the sprinkler to save the lawn. But now I'm grown and I work all day. When I come home I'm on grown and complain. But my project girl puts me in my place, calls me a middle class spoiled brat right to my face. Project girl, she bop, shoo waddy waddy ooh doo wah doo wah. Shoo waddy waddy project girl, she bop, shoo waddy waddy ooh doo wah doo wah. And by the time that she married me, she was already adept at austerity, and she can keep us going on my piddly pay. She can cook a potato 119 ways. Shoo waddy waddy project girl, she bop, shoo waddy waddy ooh doo wah doo wah. Shoo waddy waddy project girl, I love my project girl. My young daughter hates what we eat. She is liable to pick it up and throw it at me. Well, the projects have never been her home, but her mother gave her Project Chromosome. So it don't matter where she may live, she will always be a second generation project kid. Waddy waddy project girl. She waddy waddy ooh doo wah doo wah. She waddy waddy project girl. She waddy, I love my project girl. Project girl, I love my project girl. These classy women in their fancy clothes, they're very impressive, I suppose. But I wouldn't trade my project girl for every Maserati mama in this whole wide world. There you go. Bravo.
Right.
Wow, that's an old one.
Hey Don, just so you know, in the chat, Amy and Steve requested Second Chance Crew, and Amy said that Thelia would love Psycho Mom and Dad if you played a little bit later. She's in the middle of an online class now, but she said if you played a little later in the show, she'll be able to see it.
All right. Well, we don't want to interrupt her her scholastic achievement for something like Psycho Mom and Dad, but that's good. I'm happy to do that, and thank you, Brandon. And so let me play Second Chance Crew. So this is a song about quitting drinking. Oh, maybe I'm thinking about I might read something about that later. Actually, I haven't had a drink since 1990. I'm not looking for applause or anything, but let me just tell you, those of you that met me after 1995, I don't think I would have lived that long much after that. So, and a big part of my life is the fact that I quit doing all that stuff, and I've been performing at I think the biggest sober festival in the country, or one of the biggest. It's called Sober in the Sun, and it takes place near Worcester, Mass, every Labor Day weekend. It started out as a cookout on Labor Day, just some people trying to stay sober on that holiday, which is tough for people that drink, tough weekend because everybody's partying. And then it just grew and grew, and now thousands of people come to it from all over the country. And I was the closing act at it probably for 20 years. I'm not the closing act anymore. I kind of have crested the hill there, but I still get to play at it. And this is a song that I wrote with John Svetke, actually. I used to play with the Loomers, so it's kind of a band song. But Amy and Steve, thank you for asking for it, and I'll do my best to play it, even though I haven't played it for a while. My dad said, son, if you keep going on this way, bad report card, you're gonna wind up as a lumper on a cruise someday. I said, Dad, what's a lumper? I was all laughing so hard, rolling on the floor. Dad, no one uses words like lumper anymore. The guys are outside, it's Friday night, I gotta go. See you later, and thanks for the lecture. If you keep doing the things that you are doing, if these things that you are doing don't do you in, they can always use another lumper on the Second Chance Crew. Me, Billy Bob, Rick and Ray, those were my drinking buddies, living for the party every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And don't forget Sunday, one by one they moved away from home. The time went by, next thing I know, 31 I'm drinking with a bunch of 19-year-olds. What a loser, man, what a loser are you. Keep doing the things that you are doing. If these things that you are doing don't do you in, they can always use another lumper on the Second Chance Crew. Second Chance people got a touch of gray, partied their teens and their 20s away, but now they're sober, starting over in their 32. They're just so glad to be working on the Second Chance Crew. Those pallets aren't gonna move themselves, lumper. Should have spent a little more time time in school and a little less time up the woods at a kid party. I wound up in the program, I know that's no surprise. I make the minimum wage, at least I didn't die. My knees are aching and my back is sore. I've been dragging these ladders across the plywood floor. Dad, I never wonder what a lumper is anymore. Wanna know why? Cause I'm a lumper if you keep doing the things that you are doing. If these things you're doing don't do you in, then you can always use another lumper on the second chance crew. If you keep doing the things that you are doing, if these things that you are doing don't do you in, they can always use another lumper on the second chance crew. Smoke it and drink it and puff it up your nose while your education goes up in smoke. When you're in your 30s and the party is through, we're saving you a seat at the meeting and a job lumping on the crew. A seat at the meeting, 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 seat at the meeting and a job lumping on the crew. That's what's waiting for you. Seat at the meeting and a job lumping on the crew. Thank you for requesting that, Amy and Steve. Thank you.
Hey, good work.
Thank you for the unmuted applause. We like that. Makes me feel only half crazy singing to my computer screen here. I've been prefacing this song with to my audience, especially when I look out and I see educators in the crowd, and I can see some there. Tommy and Marlene, both educators, and I assume that Amy is an educator of some kind at some point in her life, and everybody is taught somebody. So the reason I prefaced this song is that it has a gigantic double negative in the chorus, and I want you to steel yourselves for the abuse of the English language that's coming here. But I do love my double negatives. And I Can't Get No Satisfaction would not have been a hit without the double negative. That's my theory. It would have been a mediocre song at best. I cannot acquire any satisfaction. That is not a hit, boys and girls. That is, it's mediocre. So English teacher would have ruined that #1 song. That's what I think. So let me see if I can do this. I know a wife and a husband. They had a shiny little kid. When that kid turned 16, you won't believe what he did. He smoked a lot of marijuana. He snorted cocaine too. He told his parents he was gonna drop out of school. The father pounded on the table. The mother hollered and she screamed. They run him down to the doctor. Doctor, what does this mean? He put them all on Prozac. Right then and right there. He said you still have your problems, but now you just won't care. And he prescribed a little therapy, some supplementary drugs. But he didn't write a script down for a little more love. Just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. But when you're looking at your lifetime from the end, when you are done, it might look a little better, see a little more love. I know a wife and a husband, they had a shiny little kid. When that kid turned 16, you won't believe what she did. She said, I'm sleeping over Susan's. That was just a big lie. But what she really was doing, staying out all night. And when her parents found out, they cried boo-hoo-hoo. And then they called the radio talk show. They asked him, what should we do? He said, send her off to boot camp. That was his advice. It was good for his ratings, but it wasn't very nice. Just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing. It won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end, when you are done, you know it might look a little better, see a little more love. I can see that you're a tough guy. You won't be pushed around. You're not gonna take it. You're good at putting your foot down. You might get killed by lightning. You might get hit by a truck. But if you're not that lucky, you might just wind up spending years in a rest home without a whole lot to do. But look back on what you did with the time God gave to you. Just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. But when you're looking at your lifetime from the end, when you are done, you know it might look a little better. Big rough tough guy to see a little more love. It might look a little better, see a little more love.
That's beautiful, Don.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you, everybody.
Great. Oh,
All right, let me play another song here, and then we'll ask our friend Amy to do something short. 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Amy, if you got something to just let us see her new book, hear something from her new book. We'll take a little break, and then I'll play another shorter set later. But thank you for coming. This is it's fun to see you all, to be with you all, and lots of you live in places where I'm not gonna be, and it's not gonna get there. The road is not my buddy anymore. I go when I have to. Although Kevin and I may be coming to Chicago in 2026. Looks like that's something. David and Leanie, it doesn't look like they're gonna have me back at the Guthrie Center this year, maybe, but maybe not. If they only can hire a few people every year, even though we've been selling it out, and so I'm not sure that I'll be out that way. I might look for a house concert or something out there, just because I have some friends out there. But gonna be in North Reading, Mass next Saturday if anybody lives close, at the place called the Flint Library, and then the Bull Run, and then later in March, if you want to think out that far, I'm gonna be in the Bull Run is in early March, and then doing a Thursday night in Concord, New Hampshire, and then the 55th anniversary of the Me and Thee Coffee House in Marblehead, Mass, with Haley Reardon, who was a student of mine for probably 10 years, and her and I are going to split that night over there in Marblehead. So I have interesting things coming up. but as you can see, with the exception, with the occasional, minus the occasional trip to Nebraska, um, I'm staying close. You know, Nebraska. I have to tell you, I was just in Nebraska a few months ago. I'm going next month, right in February, and then I'm going to go back again to McCook, Nebraska in June. So I am huge in Nebraska. You know,
You're huge with all of us, Don.
I just wanted to say that I might be the only person alive who ever spoke that sentence, but I'm saying it right now. I am huge in Nebraska, and I'm very proud of it, and I love everybody out there. Like if you would have told me at the early part of my career that I'd be going to Nebraska 3 times in 1 year, I wouldn't have had any point of reference for that. But now I'm there, and I can't wait to have some of the steak that they are so proud of out there, and maybe I'll get to, maybe I'll get there in a time of year I get to see the sandhill cranes.
We might even get to the archway.
Say that again.
We might even get you to the archway.
I'll do that. Whatever.
Okay,
But I
whatever.
want the full Nebraska experience.
Okay.
Cornhusker game.
I'll go yeah, college football and
And Don White. They're the big things in Nebraska.
and Sandhill
Cornhusker
Cranes.
football and Don White.
In that order. I can't wait. And the one I'm doing for these guys in Kearney is in February. I mean, last time I was there, the airplanes were having trouble getting over there. But I'm game. I'm going. First of all, I love winter. By the way, I'm glad the planet can still get cold. So. It's a hard, dark, cold world with everybody in their cars in a million-mile traffic jam trying to get to their job. You there with your bright light hiding in your little room with your guitar and your pencil writing your secret tune. Go light, go light, go light the world on fire. This is your day, it's your time. Go light the world on fire. In the first part, if you learn what you love to do. In the middle part, if you do it a lot, till it becomes a part of you. In the last part, you can give the world the best work of your life. And then you lay down with a big smile, tell the whole world good night. Go light, go light, go light the world on fire. This is your day, it's your time. Go light the world on fire. It's a hard, dark, cold world with everybody in their cars in a million-mile traffic jam trying to get to their job. We need you to come on down from your little room. Bring your bright light to the dark night. Play us your secret tune. Go light, go light, go light the world on fire. This is your day, it's your time. Go light the world on fire. Go light the world on fire. Go on and light the world on fire. All right, there's one. That's a deep cut.
All right, Don.
All right.
Don White.
Okay, Brandon, would you side by side me and Amy and myself, if you don't mind? There you go. So, Amy, tell us about your book that you just wrote.
Yeah, thank you so much for letting me share some poems. So this book, I don't actually have the copy yet. I've got my proof copy. I'm still waiting on my official copies of it. But it just came out, I think it was on January 7th. It's titled Out of Places, and Thelia did the art. So
Really?
my daughter did the painting that is used for the cover art. So I'm pretty excited about that. And there are 3 parts to this. This is all a lot of my poetry deals with our relationship to place, and this book in particular deals with our relationship to place as our landscapes are shifting and as we're living through um, so many hard changes and tragedies and disasters. But how there are so many things that are still beautiful and hopeful. And so there's a lot of sadness and darkness, but also a lot of light in these poems. And
Well, go ahead, keep
I'm
going.
sorry, so I've got a distraction um, here.
Well, what's the distraction's name?
This is Maple.
Hi, Maple.
So she she was napping until I needed to do something. So
Well,
you know,
that's how it is.
that's how it
I
is.
I just want to say to everybody that this is Thelia's painting right here. So Thelia's artwork is being well represented at the Thursday night live stream today. Um, when you're done, go ahead and put any information into the chat about how people can find the book, you know. And then Brandon, if you see that, if you can put it in the comments over in the on the other pages too. And so I would love it if you could do 5 minutes or so for us, if that worked for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that. So I'm getting ready to go and read at several other places and bookstores across Appalachia. And so I've been sitting and trying to figure out what poems I want to read. And you know, of course, some places there's some that I'll read that I don't read. Other ones, and there's some that I read all the time. It seems to be the case, but I've tried to highlight some of the more uplifting ones. I feel like I need uplifting things right now myself. So I'll start with this one. And I wrote this one for my friend Tina, and it's titled "When You Go Outside Before Turning on the News." Sit in stillness and let dawn wrap around you. There's no anger in birds. Silhouettes flitting among branches as they sing a soundtrack for the sun. Time here is short, they remind us. Don't spend it all worrying about what may come. Relax your shoulders. Hear those high notes. See those clouds whose color shifts each second. Day begins in a burst of sensations. Remind yourself to breathe.
Bravo.
Yeah, and so I also wrote that one because I need that reminder. It's really easy, especially if I get into cycles of watching the news and reading the news, and I get kind of in this anxiety ditch. And so I have to remember if I go outside first before I do any of that, and if I limit how much time I spend kind of taking all that in, it's better for me. It's better for my mental health, and just I live a better life when I spend more time outside than sitting here staring at screens. Um, and so this one's really short, but it's sort of along those same lines. I spend a lot of time outside. I live on a farm, and we have a lot of land, and a lot of it's wooded. But we have some hay fields and stuff too. This one's called Closing This Day. Dew falls on my skin as the sun sinks low, a palette of color across the sky, radiating out into the wildflowers and grasses and me. For one ethereal moment, I am painted right into the earth. And so that's my favorite time of day, right when the sun is hitting everything, and you get all those beautiful colors. And I like to spend time just sitting and looking and taking in those moments when I can. I don't always have time to pause like that in the ways that I wish that I could, but when I do, I really, really enjoy it.
That's beautiful, Amy. Really.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, let's see, I'll share this one. So where I grew up, I live about 45 minutes from my childhood home. And where I grew up, my dad planted trees along the creek bank when I was little to help stabilize the bank. And so there's actually a couple poems in this book that talk about those trees because they're a big part of my childhood. There's a lot of trees that I have loved in my lifetime, and there's a lot of trees in this book. This is called The Tempo is Too Fast. The last light, or sorry, the last slithers of sunlight streak across the pine trees Daddy planted when I was a kid. Now they're at least as tall as I am old. arms reaching to the sky, needles splayed, casting shade out onto the yard and down on the creek. I've seen these trees from every angle for as long as I can remember, as a background of childhood taken for granted. As I climbed on their skinny limbs, gathered needles for concoctions, swung in hammocks fastened from trunks. I stare at them now, wondering when they grew tall enough to cover the peaks of the hills, when their limbs laced in patterns thick enough to block the light, when so many years managed to escape my mind.
Thank you, Amy. That's so good. Beautiful.
Really is. That's wonderful.
Beautiful, Amy.
That's wonderful.
Thank you all so much for letting me share. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Dawn, for asking me to read.
Much
You're
success
welcome.
on the book, Amy. Much
Thank you.
success.
Thank you, Neil. I appreciate it.
So be sure and put the information in the chat if people want to be able to buy it. Then we're
I
a
did find
generous
a
group.
Amazon.
It's on
Sorry,
Amazon.
I did find an Amazon link. I don't know if there's something you prefer, Amy, but I did put that in the chat.
That's fine. Thank you so much.
Cause this is it. I think Neil's got his checkbook out already. I'll bet right now. So thank you so much. And one thing I really miss about doing this every week is the fact that I could showcase people whose words I love and whose music I love, and so thank you for filling that spot for us all the way from Kentucky. And don't forget, I'll be there in September.
I know. I'm so excited. Thelia already has it on her calendar. And in fact, when we were sitting here before she had to go to her class, she said, Mommy, I'm so glad he's coming here in September.
I am, and you know what? I'll try to get try to peel off a little time, and we can go sit down somewhere and just talk. They run you they keep you busy there at that. It's called the Cave Run Storytelling Festival. But I'll definitely make time for you and your family. I think the world of you, and thank you so much. Everybody, unmute for a second and just give Amy a nice big round of applause. All right.
Yay!
Woohoo! Great job, Amy.
Great job is right.
Well, I'm gonna take a break now, but when I come back, I'm gonna be re-energized because I hear the voice of Sarah, the cornerstone of the Thursday night thing. Sarah, welcome, my friend.
Love you, baby.
Yeah. All right, you guys can sit and talk, do whatever you want, and I'll be back in just a couple minutes, and I'll play another set. And I'm so glad to have you all here. If you can throw me a couple bucks, that'll be great. Mrs. White will be happy, and I'll spend the bulk of it paying my buddy Brandon. So thanks for all that, and I'll see you in just a couple minutes. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to Don White's very rare Thursday night live stream. I think we did 90 of these during COVID, as I recall. But I'm just gonna take a minute here and just look at everybody. Hello everyone. Hi Sarah. Hi everybody. Nice to see you, Sarah. Were you working? Look at you.
I'm at the airport, my friend.
Yeah, you flying here to see me? Good.
I wish.
What time's your flight?
I get on at 6:15.
And what time is that? East Coast time. Let me do the math here.
9:15.
We got you covered then. We got you covered till you're on the airplane. All right. Well, I love you, and I'm glad to see you. I'm gonna read something here from my book, Hitchhiking Years. I'm gonna read this for my wife. My wife. We've had a great year here. I mean, a great year insofar as we all pulled together. My daughter was sick, and we had to take care of her for a while. And then Teresa put off her knee surgery, which she should have had it, a long time ago. You can spotlight me now, Brandon, if you don't mind. She her knee was wrapped anyway. But then she put it off for almost a year past when it was already racked to take care of my daughter. And then she had the surgery, and then she's just recovering from that now. So there are people who have worse stories than this. This was not the worst story. We all took care of each other. It was all good. But it wasn't a great year, I wouldn't think. It was a lot of people with a lot of pain and stuff. But everybody's doing so much better now. And I'm just so happy to see her up and around and taking care of herself and taking care of everybody, not being in pain every time she walked. So I thought I'd read this from the back side of my hitchhiking book here. So just prior to this, we were in this scene here. We were in our house in Maine after hitchhiking for 3 years and trying to figure out how to be normal. That was the issue for us. And if anybody wants to unmute during this, just so I can feel you, as long as you're in a relatively quiet place, it just feels better for me. And so we're trying to figure out how to be normal after living in ashrams and hanging around with, freaks and, having unlimited freedom. And so now we're in this house, and I was just looking at her. She's like sitting with a cup of tea, and I was thinking about all the experiences that we have had together, and now we're sitting in this little cabin in Maine, and like the steam is, wisping up, in front of her face, and I was just thinking about this new phase. And so the portrait moved and broke the spell. Teresa turned to me and said, "I believe at this moment in time we are literally penniless. There's no bank account, no food stamps, no job, and not one single penny in this house." And I asked her, "Should we panic?" And she said, "I believe we should. I think it's what normal people would do in this situation." I said, "Right. Normal people would be flipping out right now. I mean, we're living in a real house. We're going to have a real baby. Hell, someone might even give us a real television set. We're definitely on our way to becoming normal. So we should freak all the way out and not have any faith that things will work out or that the universe loves us or any of that stuff that the normal people think is hippie nonsense and a waste of time. And she said, yep, we should learn how to make the worst out of every situation at the earliest point so we can be freaking out every day just like everybody else. It's going to take some practice. I said, okay, do you want to start? How about you scream at me and tell me that I need to get up off my ass and go get a job? And she said, that's a good one. And then you can storm out and go to the bar. You won't have any money, but when you tell the bartender what a shrew your wife is, he'll let you open a tab. I said, none of this sounds too hard. I don't think we're going to have any trouble learning to behave in a way that makes every situation 10 times worse than it really is. And since I am fully committed to becoming normal with you, my dear, I'm happy to practice these tiresome lines and unevolved behaviors. But first, let's try to disprove your penniless theory. I still think there may be a coin or two hidden in this house somewhere. So Teresa opened the living room closet and slid her hand into all the jacket pockets. There were no pennies. I pulled the cushions off the couch. I pushed my hand down in the sides where the coinage that slides out of trouser pockets hides. I locked eyes with Teresa. A smile came across my face. She returned my smile with a look of excitement. I said, I think this is it. I think we have avoided pennilessness, my darling. And then I slowly pulled my hand out and revealed to our eternal dismay that no, it was just a nickel-sized piece of hard candy.
Oh, boy.
We had just confirmed that at this moment in our long, extraordinarily atypical journey, we were indeed without one solitary cent. In addition, we were unemployed, lacking most skill sets that might alter that fact, expecting a baby, hauling water in buckets, and going out to a barn in sub-zero temperatures to pee. It was perfect. I guess I should leave it there. Let me just read on a little bit. What the hell? What are we doing anyway? The love of my life and I gazed into each other's eyes with sly grins on our faces. We had a full understanding of the challenges of the moment. They were plentiful and powerful, and I imagine that to many couples they would seem insurmountable, but they were simply no match for what we had experienced on the road. From the bottom of the top to the top of the continent over a 3-year period, we lived, traveled, and grew into entirely new people on faith and the kindness of strangers. Sure, there was a baby in the mix now, but think about it. We weren't all alone and thousands of miles from our support system anymore. All our relatives and friends lived close by and were anxious to help us. Comparatively, this was going to be a piece of cake. I think I'll just drop it right there. Comparatively, this was going to be a piece of cake, he said with resolve. Ta-da! There you go. The years. That's right. You can still buy. If you buy this book online, I will ship it right from my very own home and sign my name on it so it'll be worth less when you put it on eBay. That's what I'll do for you.
A good book. It's a great book.
Thank you. All right, let me play something more for her. When Thelia's back, I'll play her song for her and put, whatever you want. Just put it in the chats or on Facebook or over here and on your comments. And Brandon, if you see anybody requesting something, let me know. And if I can remember it, if it's not one that I don't play often, I'm happy to do it for you.
And I did see one a little bit back, just to let you know. Woodstock Memories.
All right. Okay, I think that's a good plan. Too bad we couldn't verify if that person was still watching. But here it is for them. So I just played this at Club Passim, which is, it's in this thing it has talked about Ram Dass and who was Richard Alpert, who right around the corner from Passim is the Divinity School at Harvard. So Richard Alpert, I'm just saying this because he's mentioned in the chorus of the song Baba Ram Dass. His name was Richard Alpert, and he was friends with Timothy Leary, and he was working at the Divinity School in Harvard University before LSD was illegal, and he was giving it to his students and saying, "Here, take this, and if you see God, write a paper about it." And it was funny to be right there where all that was happening. But here you go. Whoever asked for this, thanks for asking for it, because it's one I like to play. Jenny's grandma went to Woodstock back in 1969. She keeps her tickets stuffed and a chunk of mud at her house in the little shrine. She was always the girl in the hippie dress twirling at the shows by the Grateful Dead. If you ask her about it, man, you better sit down. Grandma will talk the ears right off your head. If you get her talking about the Grateful Dead, Summer of Love or the Kool-Aid acid test. Jenny was always in a glory when she could hear the stories from her grandma's hippie friends about peace and love, taking care of one another, how great it all was back then. And that night she would dream of being on the bus with Kesey, seeing Jimmy in 69. But when she wasn't dreaming, she always had the feeling that somehow she had been born in the wrong time. You know, he should have been 20 in 1969. All the gray-haired hippies say that all the time. But the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are living on the beach in Costa Rica, having all kinds of fun, singing. There's only 1 minute if you're not living in it, it's never coming back again. Love you, Grandma. Baba Ram Dass never said, never said, never said be there then. It's gonna take a big leap of faith if you really want to find your tribe. Those were the first words that Jenny heard in a song that she found online. And that summer she drove all the way to Minnesota to the Shangri-La Festival. And there they all were, the people like her, who grew up believing that they were all alone. Said, hey girl, welcome home. But the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are driving on the road all the way to Minnesota, having all kinds of fun, singing. Jimmy and Jerry are dead and buried and they're never coming back again. I love you, Grandma, but Baba Ram Dass never said, never said, never said be there then. Jenny's grandma went to Woodstock back in 1969. Since then she believed there was never gonna be a better time, and that's alright. If you don't take a big leap of faith and get out there and find your scene, it will pass you by while you're trying to hide your grandma's long gone Woodstock memories. Her Woodstock memories. While the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are living on the beach in Montezuma, Costa Rica, having all kinds of fun, singing. Only 1 minute, if you're not in it, you're never coming back again. Love you, Grandma, Baba Ram Dass never said, never said, never said, never said, never said be there then. There you go. Thank you for asking for that.
Hey, Don.
That was good.
John.
Hey, anybody that wants to catch the last few
Hey.
minutes of this thing over here with us on, where are we, on Zoom? Brandon will stick the information in the Facebook comments. You're welcome to come over. We might have a little hangout after when I'm done singing. Chat a little bit.
Hey, I do have a couple of requests though on from
all right.
Facebook if you have time.
Yeah.
Sherry on Facebook asked for more alive, and Nancy said she'd love to hear the song about Lynn Mass.
You know, Sherry and Nancy are probably mother and daughter. I'm thinking those are the some friends of mine, I think. But sure, All right, more live in that one. So which one do you do first? The funeral one or the one about being from Lynn? All right, so yes, I'll be happy to do that. I want to thank everybody that the handful of people that threw a few bucks my way. I really appreciate that because I got to pay Brandon, and he does. There's a lot that happens behind the scenes here, and I certainly am not capable of doing it while I'm up here trying to figure out how to remember my songs. So Brandon is a key ingredient here, and he he's good to me. He doesn't charge me what he would charge his regular clients, but still have to pay him. So it really means something to me that you throw a few bucks into that thing. So thank you to those. And Brandon, if you don't mind, throw my email up there for anybody that's not comfortable with Venmo or anything. You can drop me a note, and I'll send you my address, and you can just drop me a check if you want to go old school, Pony Express. All right, so this is called I'm from Lynn. What can I say? I'm assuming this is my friend Nancy, who grew up in Lynn, who wanted this, and here we go with this. Wrote it in the 70s, and still can play it with conviction. There's an album out there, if you can find it. It's hard to find now. It's called Live at the Somerville Theater. And it's got all these comedy songs on it, Elijah and Charlie and Maureen, and it's just a 100% comedy album in front of 1,000 people, and when I was just listening to it today, trying to learn this other song, the Elijah song, and I was remembering, like it was a long time ago, 1994 or something, that I did it. But when I listen to it, I just think I was unburdened by political correctness in those days. Like I was just having so much fun singing things and not worrying about people's feelings. It was quite freeing, actually. And so here we go. Here's one that comes out of that time. They actually wrote it in the 70s. And thank you for asking for it. So those of you that know this song, that means you live or have lived somewhere near Lynn. I want you to know I'm playing in North Reading a week from Saturday. North Reading, Massachusetts, that's right. Come out and see me. It's at the Flint Library a week from Saturday. I was born in the city of Lynn, home of the first turbine engine. And as if that wasn't enough, it's also the home of Marshmallow Fluffy. You can travel the whole country, you'll never find a bigger fluff factory. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn act this way. I don't talk slick like I'm from the Hant. I'm the son of a 30-year GE man. Don't be staring at me that way. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? Hang around in Barry Park, that's illegal after it gets dark. Stand on the bleachers where things got smoked and beer got chugged up, bottles got broke. Later in the evening when the police come, 27 juvenile are on the run. Juvenile are running everywhere you see, jumping over fences, climbing in trees. Don White is too loaded to get away. His name is in the paper on the next day. His mother and his father just can't believe he would publicly humiliate the family. Mom from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn act this way. I don't talk slick, that's what I said. I am not from Swampskip, Marblehead. Don't be staring at me that way. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? On the corner of every street, somebody is cooking something greasy to eat. Deep fat is frying everywhere you look. The town is bound for the record books. A million sub shops open all night long. A socio-intestinal phenomenon. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn eat this way. There's no room in my stomach for French cuisine. Give me a bag of cheese curls in a submarine. Julia Child, get out of my way. I'm from Lynn. What can I say? I left Lynn 10 years ago. I didn't know where I was gonna go. 10 of my friends were leaning up against the bar and grill. 10 years later, they're leaning there still. Half of my friends who are not on the street are dead in jail or annoying me. From Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn act this way. I don't talk slick, that's what I said. They won't even let me into Marblehead. They're afraid I'll steal something and I might. Don't be staring at me that way. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? There you go. Ta-da.
Oh, boy, I remember that.
Woo!
Oh.
All right, Don.
And the crowd is going wild. Facebook.
I remember that song from when you did it at your coffee house out in Lynn. Your gang there.
Yeah, it's a big hit in that, inside of Route 128. It's huge. It starts losing power as you get outside of Route 128. Lose a little power between there and 495, and once you get to the border of Massachusetts, it has no value at all, really. I have to spend too much time explaining it. Lynn is like this other town that you live near, and the Marblehead is like the rich towns. It's not worth it. But my son's gonna play with me at the Bull Run on my birthday show, March 8th, and we play that together. And he plugs in, and all of a sudden he starts shaking the rafters with that thing. We have a big rock ending to that song, and I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be so much fun. Also, those of you, like I said, live near who know enough about that song. My only close to Lynn thing that I've got is in North Reading next Saturday, and come on out and support these guys. It's a fundraiser for their library, and keeping people educated. So I'm gonna play. Let's see. I'm gonna play "More Alive" for Sherry, and then I'll play Thelia's song, and then I saw somebody wanted "I Know What Love Is." I'll play that, and that could do it. I think. Thank you for coming. So let me see if I can remember this one. "More Alive." Haven't played it for a while. I lost my mother. I lost my mother. I lost my father. Well, I really didn't lose them. I know exactly where they both are. It's not like they went for a walk, took a wrong turn and both got lost. It just hurts less to say I lost them than to say they're dead. Betty May is 82. She's having more fun than me and you. All she wants to do is laugh and sing. She's the biggest flirt I ever seen. Still flutters over the baby blues like she did when she was 22. So much mischief in those eyes. I never seen someone more alive. More alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. When my mother died, I was so smashed up inside. I was crying like a baby. I thought the pain might kill me. And Betty said, son, you won't believe how many loved ones I buried. Father, sister, my brother, son, my husband, and my mother. Every time I lose a friend, I think I'm never going to laugh again. I lay around and watch bad TV till this feeling comes over me. And then I put some music on and play my favorite song. that pain inside on the day when I decide not only will I survive, I'm going to be more alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. They don't break you, they can make you more alive. She said, go ahead, feel your pain, watch bad TV for days. When you're ready to come out and play, you come see Betty May. Oh well, put some music on and play my favorite song. Dance around your living room like we both were to want to. Shake loose of that pain inside on the day when you decide not only will you survive, you're going to be more alive, more alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, in time they can make you more alive. Thanks for asking for that.
Beautiful, Don.
That was beautiful, Don. That's for sure. Thanks.
That's a good song.
Thank you. I've been forgetting to play it lately. I have too many funeral songs. You know, I have a song I called Sense of Humor, which I play kind of that way too. And I'm sure that how many funeral songs can one set handle? That's what I think. You have to place them strategically. You don't do want to say though, that idea of like get to be a certain age, and man, I'm afraid to turn my phone on in the morning because so many people that I know are not doing well. My, people close to me too, and so you have to kind of grapple with it, don't you? You have to, unless you're gonna check out early, you have to figure out how to process loss, right? I mean, I'm not saying anything that everybody doesn't know. It's just like I keep have to remind myself about it. So one way to process that stuff is to fool around, have some fun. So Thelia, if you're there, let me look at you. Let me see. You done with your homework, young lady? Where is she? There she is. So I'm going to play this song for her. It's called Psycho Mom and Dad. She's really the only person I play it for now. It's like kind of a lost song. And I've had to modify it. It used to be drinking beer instead of eating pizza in it and stuff like that. Again, wasn't that concerned with people's people's feelings or their ability to be, upended by something. But here we go. And this is for Thelia in Kentucky, who I'm going to see in September. Can't wait to see you all. And her mom so graciously read some poetry for us, and that's Thelia's painting right there in the back that she gave me last time I was in Kentucky. So these people are special, and I'll play anything you want. Mom come home from work today, tell you what she saw. Every toy that me and my sister owned was laying out on the floor, and the table was covered with peanut butter and half-eaten sandwiches. There was cereal bowls, open jar of mayo, and an empty can of tuna fish. Dad was eating a pizza, he had 2 or 3 slices gone. The sports page was laying on the living room floor and the football game was on. And when Ma tripped over my toy transformer, that pushed her over the edge. And that's when we knew she was turning into Psycho Mom again. Remember that poetry woman that was that was reading the beautiful poetry about being in the woods and all that? This is what her daughter thinks about her, thinks she's a Psycho Mom. Ma was working, Dad was babysitting us the other night. Me and my brother started yelling at each other and we got into a fight. We were punching, kicking, scratching, pinching, pulling each other's hair. Just about the time we knocked the TV over, we saw Dad standing there. His blood was bubbling. He didn't say nothing, double negative. He just stood there at the door. Me and my brother took a look at each other and we looked out from the floor. And Dad started to scream like a wild banshee and started pulling out his little hair. And that's when we knew he was turning into Psycho Mom, Psycho Dad, something. I forgot my lyrics again. He's screaming on the bed, I'm finished, I'm through. I'm running away. Leaving today, we're gonna join the carnival. First we're selling you kids for $1 a pound to a couple of cannibals. I used to be normal. Used to be, never got mad. Babysitting you animals, turn me into Psycho Dad. For an hour, our mother and father were trying to keep us in bed. Me and my sister never miss a chance to play with their heads. We were using every excuse in the book to try to keep from going to sleep. She said, I'm thirsty. I said, I gotta pee. She said, I forgot to brush my teeth. We just got done with that classic one. Upon this fateful night, where you say it's too dark, you turn on the light, then they cry because the light's too bright. And Ma's eyes bugged out, Dad's head exploded, they both climbed up the wall. You should thank the Lord that you were not born to Psycho Dad and Mom. They're screaming, we're fed up, finished through, had it up there, where are you? We're running away. We're leaving today, we're gonna join the carnival. First we're selling you kids for a penny a pound. To anybody that will take you, we used to be normal. We were peaceful creatures. We never got mad. Raising you animals turned us into Psycho Mom and Dad. There you go, Thelia. Ta-da!
Hey, that's
Thelia,
amazing.
baby. It's a hit. How old is Thelia, Amy? Tell me.
She is 11 now.
Big hit in the 11-year-old world. But I still don't think I'll play it when I'm playing for all the kids in the school there in Nebraska. It's still, I'm opening myself up to trouble there. We'll probably do, like this. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Right? Play it safe. Get the money, go home, don't cause any trouble. That's the Don White method. When I started doing storytelling festivals, I took all my videos down that had F-bombs in them and all that because, I never played for kids or religious people or, people that were uptight or weren't nervous about anything. So I just threw all my stuff up there and I'm like, this is gonna cost me work. So I took them all down. So if you want my good videos, you have to call me and I'll send them to you. The ones that have the F-bombs in them and all the good stuff, like all the politically correct stuff, all the stuff that would cause the gathering of the PTA and all that stuff, I hid them away over there because my dad grew up during the Depression and he would rather cut off an arm than destroy a stream of revenue. That's how I feel now. Whatever you want me to be, I'll be that. Did I ever tell you this story here? Unmute it a little bit. Let me just say this to you. So, like when I first went to the storytelling world, I went over really well in Tennessee, and I got, I think, 11 festivals out of that. and went to Kentucky and Alabama and all these places I'd never been before, and they all went well. And then I went to Utah. So I'm not sure if I told you this story or not before, but I loved those people out there. There was a different world for me, Mormons, but they were so kind and so nice, and just like every place where I go, right? But I was so nervous about saying something wrong, because I know what not to say when I'm with progressives. You know, I don't talk about how much I love the military-industrial complex. I know not to do that, right? And when I'm with, you know, conservatives or whatever, I just know where the landmines are with religious people, with Democrats, all that, right? But I didn't know what to expect from them, and so I called the woman up, and and she said, just send me the material. So I sent her all the stuff that I had about picking on my teenagers, right? I just thought they wouldn't like that. Maybe they wouldn't, you know, teenagers have it hard enough. Why are you picking on them? They're an easy mark. You're punching down. I just thought that. But she called me back and she said, that stuff was great. We loved it. I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure about this? And they said, yeah. And they said, but in that song that you have called Rascal, you use the word suicide in it, and you can't do that. I go, well, thank you for telling me. I would not have known that. And because even at this stage of my life, I still don't know how to keep my mouth from saying the thing that will ruin everything, right? Before, like she said, you can't say suicidal in this, right? And I said, and as soon as I said it, I was trying to grab the sentence and stuff it back in my mouth. You know, I knew it was wrong to say it, but I couldn't help myself. I thought it was funny. And so I go, can I change it to homicidal? Right? And I could feel my storytelling career just fading away, right there, falling away. And then there was a long pause, and she said, that'll be fine. And I'm like, okay, good. How would I have known that? So the next thing I know, a month later, I'm playing to 6,000 people outside, 6,000 underneath a 40-foot jumbotron of Don White, which I don't know how life can get more surreal than that. But there I was, and I'm playing Rascal, and if you know that song, everybody howls at it. So I'm here to testify that I am one of the only living people on earth who can say that I was howled at by 6,000 Mormons in this world.
Oh, that must have been fun.
It was great, and the people were beautiful. They were the nicest people. It was like a different world for me, so I wasn't sure. I was a little off balance there. And then I sing the line, and, you know, it feels kind of homicidal to me, and they're all laughing. I'm like, you know, my life is too surreal. All right, Brandon, is there anything anybody else wants? Is there anything else that came up?
None that I've seen.
All right, so thank you, everybody. I think I'll skip I Know What Love Is Tonight. Marlene, I saw it pop up on my screen just for a minute, but if you come next month, I'll do it. Brandon, do you know the date of the one next month?
Yeah, let me just pull up in my calendar.
I didn't even write it down.
I have...
No, this is the end of it, right? No, February, right? Hang on.
Oh, no, this February is the 20th.
February 20th is the last one. I'll promise I'll play that for anybody who wants to hear it next time there. So I'll play this one last song here, and then if anybody here in this group wants to hang around, just say hi. I'd love to chat with you. We'll shut the stream off and do that. Anybody outside that wants to come in and chat with us after, you look in your comments over there, and there's passwords and stuff to get into Zoom, and we'll have a little hang around. Thank you for coming. Thank you again, everybody that was kind enough to donate. It means something to me, to be able to take care of Brandon and not have to tell my wife that I was downstairs for 2.5 hours and I have to go borrow money to pay Brandon. I have to borrow money from her to pay Brandon. That's not what we want. So thank you to everybody for that. I'm not sure that I can. So let me throw this out to Richard Fox. We've talked about him before. He used to come here a lot. And I played this at his funeral. I just love him and miss him, and I just want to keep his name alive. I just love this guy, and so he was so kind to ask me to play this for him. It's called Sense of Humor. Again, one too many funeral songs in the in the set, but you know, I think we can get away with it, especially if we're keeping the name alive of one of the most beautiful people that ever lived, Richard Fox. Amy, if you want to look him up, if you look up Richard Fox, poet from Worcester, Mass, his poetry was so beautiful. And he wrote all about being sick with cancer with a sense of humor and with grace. And he talked about growing up in Worcester and being a Jewish family and all this stuff. He's so Richard Fox, poet, Worcester, Mass. I promise you it'll be worth it. The poetry is beautiful and funny and poignant and courageous, and he honestly in my life was one of the most beautiful people that I've ever known. And the fact that he asked me to sing this for his family at the funeral is one of the great honors of my life. So I'm gonna end up my part of this thing here by remembering Richard Fox, one of the great people who ever lived. And he saw Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention twice in 1967, so that makes him special. All his children knew that he was dying. He asked them all to gather at his side, spoke to them about the joyousness of a living from the perspective of a man about to die. My love for you is what I leave behind me. I see my love in everything you are. When I am gone and you want to find me, believe me, you won't need to look too far. I will be your sense of humor. I'll be your integrity. Each time you find the strength to persevere, right inside that strength is where I'll be. When you touch a person's heart with kindness, that heart opens up a room where you will stay. As your heart grows, I know you will find this is the way that you can live beyond your days. So take some time, contemplate the night sky, so vast beyond all you can comprehend. The magnitude of what is all around you can make your life seem small and insignificant. Then picture your heart if grown to its potential as being wider than all you can ever dream, and deeper than the unfathomable heaven. That's the way that my heart feels today to me. And I will be your sense of humor. I'll be your integrity. Each time you find the strength to persevere, right inside that strength is where I'll be. nothing more that I can say now. If you don't mind, I would like to be alone. I want to spend a short time now in prayer to thank God for all the love that I have known, and for all these hearts where my love has found a home. And I will be your sense of humor. I'll be your integrity. Each time you find the strength to persevere, right inside that strength is where I'll be. That's where you can always go to be with me. Thank you for coming to the event.
Beautiful,
tonight.
Don.
Thank you.
It's beautiful, beautiful. And Richard's all that and more than what you said.
I appreciate it, and here's to Richard's family and all his family out there, and to all you guys. Thank you for coming. Thanks to everybody who watched on Facebook. Thanks to everybody that threw a few bucks my way for Brandon and for groceries. Appreciate it. So we're gonna stop the stream now. My handful of folks that are here in Zoom, if you want to hang out just for a few minutes, love to chat with you. But thank you everybody, and good night, and I'll see you one more in February on the 20th. And hopefully I'll be somewhere close to you. We can shake hands and look each other in the eye in person.